Yo, it's the SCOTT, and today I'm back with you to give you my review for the 1990 film Predator 2, starring Danny Glover, Gary Busey, and Bill Paxton. Now, this came out in 1990, which is 3 years after the first film, which came out in 1987, and now we exchanged the actual jungle for the concrete jungle, and more specifically, Los Angeles, California, in the year 1997. It's one of those films where you go to the future. More realistic future, as it's more realistic than in 2015 Back to the Future Part 2 gave us. Our main character is Lieutenant Mike Harrigan, played by Danny Glover, as he is investigating a series of murders of gangs in the LA area. Kevin Peter Hall returns as the Predator in this one, and I think he does a pretty good job. Glover as well is also very good in his role, although they give Harrigan this quirk. He's afraid of heights. Now, I can sympathize with that because I, too, have been afraid of heights. Maybe not as much in my adult life, but when I was younger. Sometimes I get a little bit iffy, but I'm mostly over it now. I get it. But they use it too much. It seems like every time he's getting closer and closer to something, and he gets up on a building, the height stops him from doing something, and that just like puts a halt on what the action is supposed to be doing, Speaking of the action, but the Predator, we get more Predator lore with this. We get more weapons. We get a Predator ship. We get more Predators towards the end. And we get to see him in action. The one thing I want to complain about, though, is, as I mentioned in the first film, he can turn invisible. But in the first film, the silhouette of the invisible creature was very much in the same silhouette of the Predator. Here, you can tell it's just a guy in a green screen suit, and they just did the special effects around him. At least they tried to make it look otherworldly in the first one, whereas here, it looks like a regular dude, but invisible. Another thing I wanted to mention is that there's this kill, right, where it starts with this guy and his chick, they're on the bed, they're doing it, and then this gang comes in to kill. Then they had this guy strung up upside down, and then the Predator comes in and kills every one of them. Okay, so let's start from the beginning here. Beginning of the scene, we see the guy and the chick having sex, and she's supposed to be moaning, but it sounds like she's screaming bloody murder. It's not the, the regular type thing. It's like she's being murdered or something. But I wonder if maybe they dubbed the wrong scream over her, and they didn't realize it until after it was already in cinemas, and they said, just fuck it, we're not going to change it or anything, or they didn't realize it until it was already finished, and they're like, oh, we're not going to worry about it, it's fine. But it sounds like she's screaming bloody murder, not that she's having a good time. Second, these guys come in, and they attack them in bed. They're still going at it, by the way. When they come in, before they even get to the bed, they're still going. And then they grab them, and they straighten the guy upside down, butt fucking naked. And then they have the woman sitting there, also naked, full frontal naked. I'm not complaining, but isn't that a little disrespectful? I mean, not disrespectful, it's just kind of untactful. She's sitting there, full frontal, just... Why? I know they're a gang. Wouldn't they give her something to cover up or something? I don't understand it. But the Predator comes in and kills everyone but her anyway. Speaking of the Predator, they do kind of fluctuate as to what he will and won't kill. Like, they say he kills everyone who's armed, but he didn't kill Mike in their first confrontation. Mike had a gun on him. And there's even a scene where this little boy that has this toy gun pointed at him, and the Predator, he starts to scan him, and he scans the gun and realizes it's a toy, so he doesn't shoot him, and the kid says, "Want candy?" And during the bus massacre, where he kills everyone, including Bill Paxton, we'll get to that in a minute, he doesn't kill Detective Cantrell, played by Maria Conchita Alonso. She plays Detective Leona Cantrell. He doesn't kill her because she's pregnant. A thing that will not come back into the rest of the film. So, yeah. Like I said, Bill Paxton plays Detective Jerry Lambert. And he dies in this film. He's a great... Bill Paxton's great with comedic performances, and he's great in here too. And he's killed by the Predator off screen when Cantrell goes back to check on him. And this gives Bill Paxton the distinction of being the only actor to ever be killed by a Terminator, an alien, or xenomorph, and a Predator. Yes, and it's true. Look it up. He's the only actor to be killed by all three of them. He's killed by the Terminator at the beginning of the first Terminator. He's killed by a xenomorph and aliens, and he's killed by a Predator here. We also get cameos from Robert Davi, Adam Baldwin, and of all people, Morton Downey Jr. But he does play a sleazy news guy, so it works. In the vein of William Atherton's character from Die Hard and Die Hard 2. Other characters are Ruben Blades, or Denny Archuleta, played by Ruben Blades. And he's Mike's friend who gets killed earlier on in the film. And that's really what sets Mike to figure out what's going on. And there's Garrett Busey, who plays Special Agent Peter Keyes, who knows about the Predators since the incident from the first film and has been investigating. And he wants to work with Mike, but Busey gets killed anyway. Interesting enough, though, there's another character in The Predator with the name Keyes, played by Jake Busey, who is supposed to be the character's son. So, connections. And there's a great, Mike... Okay, so Mike finds his way to the Predator ship, and this Predator ship is awesome. And this gives us a look to see that, because earlier they showed that he collected skulls. By the way, there's this one cut that I laughed at, but I think is absolutely stupid. So, Mike goes to meet with this voodoo guy, whose name I don't remember. But he goes to talk to him, and he warns him about it. And Mike leaves, and the Predator shows up. And this guy pulls out a fucking sword, like he's ready to battle. And he starts to scream, and it cuts to the Predator just holding his severed head. We don't get no fight. How cool would it have been? This funny cut. And it's a severed head, and then he cleans the head off. But how cool it would have been to see a dude with a sword fighting the Predator. Predator could have got his hand blades out, and they could have had a little fight thing before the Predator just went and blasted him anyway. But they could have had a pretty good fight, and I guess they decided, nah, we'll just do a funny cut. Which is funny, but I would have loved to have seen the fight. So sue me. So we get to this ship, and then he uses the Predator's own circular blade to kill him. But my problem with this is that it goes on forever. He stabs him right in the gut, and he just goes, nah, nah, nah. It's like, let go! Nah. He just keeps doing it. I'm like, let go of the blade. You got him. He's gonna die. Let go. Nah. I'm like, why isn't he letting go? It's not a blaster, it's a blade. Anyway, the Predator dies, and then other Predators materialize around him. Now, there have been questions, even brought up when I'm my viewing, about how the Predator can get from one place to another so very quickly. So has there been multiple Predators in this film? No. At least not till the end. My proof is that the one Predator that Mike fights at the end knows everything that we see the Predator learn throughout the film. He learns the word motherfucker, which we get a callback to the first film when Harrigan says, you are one ugly mother, and then the Predator grabs up and goes, motherfucker. And then, you want candy? and then shit happens, which is what we see the Predator learn throughout the film. So it was one Predator doing all these things, leaving the rest of them on the ship the entire film. You know, and you can think, oh, it was many different Predators, that's why he was at different places at different times. No, it has to have been the same Predator due to the stuff we hear him say and do and what he's learned throughout the film. So, you know, it's not just us humans trying to learn about the Predator's trying to learn about us humans. Whether or not that actually what they say in The Predator is actually what they've been doing this whole time, I don't know. But yeah, and then because it's an action movie, we have an explosion. The others, they hand Harrigan a Colonial pistol for some reason, and then they start to, you know, activate the ship to fly off. So he has to jump and run so that the exhaust fire or whatever, the rocket fire, doesn't kill him. And then we end with other cops showing up, you know. This is not a bad film. I actually enjoyed it. The first time I watched this, I watched it back to back with the first one. And the first one was so good that when this one started, I couldn't get into it for some reason. Watching it this time, though, I really kind of enjoyed it. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 because while I enjoyed it, there were things that kind of renounced me. I would have loved to see that scene, you know, with the sword fight. There's just the idea of going from a big jungle where no one can find you and you can't, you know, find help, to now you're in a city where there's people everywhere. It takes away from the experience. And just, I don't know. It's not as good as the first film. It's a 7 for me. So what are your thoughts on Predator 2? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. I'll see you in the next one.